he comes back in, and this time his eyes are just fucking the size of dinner plates, bro. Super bloodshot. And he's got that crackhead wiggle, you know what I'm saying? Where crackheads just, they can't fucking stop moving. Yo, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another edition of the Mr. Blackman Show. As always, I'm your host, Jordan Blackman, and thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm drinking my Starbucks. It's just a drip coffee, just medium roast. I drink my coffee the way the police like to shoot people. Black. Stay caffeinated, y'all. I don't know where I'd be without coffee, man. Coffee has been good to me over the last couple of years, and I don't know where I'd be without it. Probably dead, let's just be honest. Anywho, I wanted to hit y'all with a Chronicles of Crackhead Leslie Part 2, y'all. So if you're unfamiliar with who Crackhead Leslie is, go check out Part 1. But to just recap, he's this tiny little homeless man that comes in for haircuts at the barbershop that I work at. 76 years of age, total fucking junkie. Complete fucking junkie, right? Now I know what you're saying. Why don't you just kick him out? Why do you cut his hair? The nigga was giving me $100 per haircut for several months. So, I mean, he's a great client. He prepays for all his cuts and literally tips over 100%. So, why wouldn't I cut his hair? He gets a number 2 all the way over. No line up in the front, no taper, no fade. Takes me 5 fucking minutes to do it. So for $100, not bad. Not a bad client. Great client. And I think honestly, I would probably cut him for free just because he's a good guy. I mean, as good as any crackhead I've ever met anyways. And he always has the most interesting stories. So got an update for y'all. So I told you about how when I got back from my trip, how he was all upset with the one guy who wouldn't cut his hair, blah, 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 blah. It is what it is, whatever. And then he hadn't really come around too much, but he came back. He had popped his head in maybe once or twice since November. So about 2 months, last 2 months. But he hasn't come in for a cut. So finally, 2 weeks ago, I think just after the new year, he comes back in and he comes in a little bit timid. He's like, hey, I don't get paid until the 13th of January, but I need a haircut real bad. And I'm like, brother, don't worry about it. Sit your little ass down and let's just get to it. So I'm cutting the man's hair and he starts going on and on about Vietnam. And I'm thinking it's a little bit weird because, I mean, happened way before I was born, but as far as my knowledge goes, Vietnam was more of an American thing. And I know for a fact, Crackhead Leslie is Canadian. He was born in Moncton. Actually, I remember he told me he was born in Moncton. And so he starts talking about Vietnam, and I'm just kind of whatever. I'm just racing through the cut because the nigga smells like outside and a fucking half a pack of cigarettes. He starts telling me that he was a mercenary in Vietnam. And I'm thinking, all right. And mind you, this guy's tiny. He's like 5 foot, nothing. All right. So I'm thinking, you ain't a mercenary of shit, my guy. I don't even think he could kill a fly. And obviously he's old and decrepit now, but he starts going on about how he was a mercenary in Vietnam and they sent him in there, paid him handsomely to go and fight the Viet Cong. Starts telling me how he's killed, I can't remember how many people he said, but an absurd amount of people. Like on some cartoon shit, like, I killed 50 men over there in Vietnam while I was a mercenary, and starts telling me how much money they were paying him per kill, and how that when he got back home, they paid for a place for him to live at, and this and that, and I'm just like, yeah, none of that shit ever happened, bro. So I'm hearing him out, and he's kind of going on and on about it, and he's an interesting guy to listen to. So I just hear him out, I'm like, oh yeah, oh wow. Yeah, mercenary. Oh, they paid you how much? Damn. Yeah, fuck it, right? Like, let's go, buddy. You must know how, you must know how to, handle a sniper, my guy. And he's like, yeah, conditions were really bad and this and that. And I'm just thinking to myself, this motherfucker probably doesn't even know where Vietnam is. He's probably never even had Vietnamese food, let alone gone to Vietnam, let alone be a mercenary for hire. Then he starts telling me that his nickname over there was Doc. I'm like, okay, whatever, like, cool. I'm thinking Doc, that's kind of, fitting since you're probably the hood pharmacist supplying niggas with their methamphetamines, prescription of meth. And he goes, no, I'm an actual doctor. I have a PhD in medicine. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, my guy. It's like, yeah, I finished medical school and everything. I'm an actual doctor. So they call me Dr. Donald. Because Donald is his real name. I just call him Crackhead Leslie because I didn't get his name the first time. And he looks more like a Leslie than any Leslie I've ever met in my entire life. Just fucking perfect. Suits him. It's got a nice ring to it. Crackhead Leslie. So we're just running with it, right? He's like, yeah, they call me the doc. And I'm just like, geez, I was a doctor. I had my PhD while I was a mercenary over in Vietnam. I was a PO dub for a year and a half. I'm just like, come on, bro. Quit capping. Quit capping, bro. Not only do I not give a fuck, I don't care about you at all. I don't care what you used to be or who you are. You're a good paying client. You typically prepay. I mean, he didn't have any money this time, but hey, he's banked a couple of free cuts, in my opinion. So I'm hearing the guy out. I'm listening to him kind of babble on while trying to stay as far away as I can while still giving him a thorough cut, because I don't want to give him a fucked up cut. Last thing I want is a fucking crackhead coming in here complaining about the haircut. Like, I might just kill myself at that point. If crackhead Leslie was to complain about a bad haircut that I gave him, I'd quit. I would fucking quit. So then he starts telling me that, once he got back, some time had passed, he got a little bit older, things kind of went south for him. I'm thinking this is probably post meth lab explosion era. He starts telling me that he spent 12 and a half years in a Canadian prison for killing a man. He goes, this is what he says. He goes, yeah, I spent 12 and a half years in the pen because I killed somebody because they stole food from me. I'm like, bro, what? And I'm thinking, if true, which probably not true, because like I said, he doesn't look capable of killing anything. Like, he couldn't even kill a sandwich, my nigga. And let's just be real. He tells me that this guy stole some food from him. And the guy goes, what are you gonna do about it? And he goes, well, I'll show you what I'm gonna do about it. And apparently fucking killed the guy. I don't know how. He didn't say how. And then he starts to get real with me. He starts saying, he starts talking about how he has 13 siblings. 13 siblings. And I'm like, oh, like, are some of them out here? Da 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 da. And he's like, I've outlived them all. I got nobody left, nowhere to go. Just like, God damn, bro. Now this, I mean, I kind of believe. He's 76 years old, and he said he's one of the youngest of all of his siblings. So it's like, damn, that's actually kind of sad. That touched me a little bit. He's like, yeah, I got one sister and one brother left in Moncton, but they ain't doing so hot either. And I'm assuming, their family probably has got a long history of drug abuse or whatever the fuck. That shit typically doesn't just come out of nowhere. So he says to me, yeah, I got nowhere to go, no family to visit. I'll probably just stay here until I die. It's like, Jesus Christ, my guy. Fuck you getting so melancholic for, my G? And this, mind you, this is all in a span of like under 10 fucking minutes, right? So as I'm finishing up the cut, he's going on again about, his meth lab explosion and how his skin, like 95% of his skin is grafted, and they moved him into the part of the hospital where, like people are dying. I can't remember what it's called. But they've moved him in there and basically left him for dead. Blah, 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 blah. Same old story. He gets up out of the chair. I'm just trying to get him out of there because it was just me and him. And, it's kind of uncomfortable just kind of feeling trapped really, really close to somebody like this. I finish up the cut. He loves it. He dips out. This is on a Tuesday, all right? So on Thursday, he comes back in. And this time, his eyes are just fucking the size of dinner plates, bro. Super bloodshot. And he's got that crackhead wiggle, you know what I'm saying? Where crackheads they can't fucking stop moving. So he's feeling good. He comes in, and I don't even know why he comes in to tell me that one of his checks came in, GST or whatever the fuck it is, and he's just got to go pick it up, hit an ATM. And the only reason why he hasn't yet is because he's been awake since Tuesday. It's like, oh my God, bro. And thankfully, there's 2 other barbers there, but there's nobody else in there. So I'm just trying to be polite. I'm about to leave for my lunch break. I'm literally like, I just put my jacket on, took 2 steps towards the front door, and the motherfucker just beelines it right inside. He's fucking doing his jig, tells me about the checks that came in, and then he starts pulling shit out of his pockets. He starts, yeah, these are my hydromorphone pills or whatever. And I'm like, those are the pain pills that they give fucking cancer patients, like people who are dying. But it's in a little pill bottle I didn't look at it that closely, but I'm hoping there is. I'm hoping somebody's not without their pain meds. But he goes, yeah, I gotta sign off for these. They're so strong. I've been up for 3 days and these are the only things that'll help me sleep. And he pulls them out. When he pulls them out of his pocket as he's saying this, more fucking pills fall on the ground. It's like, holy fuck, this guy's a mess. And to make matters worse, somebody walks into the barbershop looking for just a quick buzz as well. Some Dutch guy just needed a quick buzz. So I'm just like, oh no, this is such a bad look. People are gonna think, well, what fucking kind of place is this? So I'm slowly trying to back up, and he's going, yeah, I take one of these and I go to sleep and I sleep for a nice 8 hours and then I'm good. Don't feel groggy, no hangover, no nothing. And then he starts getting all Donald Trump-esque with it, and he's like, yeah, I'm the only one who can take these and be fine and just wake up. And then he picks up the pills that he dropped on the floor, and he's like, these too. I take one of these with one of these, and I'm out like a light. Meanwhile, he's fucking eyes wide, right? Saucer eyes, bro. Fucking pupils big as a motherfucker. Eyes glazed over, red, and he's doing his fucking crackhead jig. And then he goes, yeah, one time I took one of these and I forgot. So I took a second one. And he said, he's like, I started feeling really woozy, and I tried to make it to my bed, and then boom, hit the floor, face first, passed out for 15 hours. And I'm just thinking to myself, how the fuck are you alive? How in the fuck are you still breathing? It makes no fucking sense. I don't know how this guy ingests so many different types of drugs. Uppers, downers, pain pills, meth. He smokes bare weed, and he's 76. I don't know how he does it. So he's like, yeah, face down, 15 hours. I woke up in the same position I hit the ground. It's like, holy fuck. Then he starts pulling out a pack of cigarettes, and he opens them up, and I see, because he's done this before, he's got little rollies in there. And he starts talking about, yeah, I made this stuff. I cooked it myself. It's 97% pure THC oil. Most potent in the entire world as far as I know. Nothing is over, 50, 60, whatever the fuck percent. I'm like, yeah, my nigga, because it has meth in it or fentanyl or some scary ass shit. He's like, yeah, this girl in my apartment, she was trying to go toke for toke with me, and she boom, passed out, head on the table. I'm like, yeah, bro, there's hard drugs in this. For sure there's hard drugs in this. and he's trying to pull one out, and he wears latex gloves everywhere he goes, so he's struggling, right, because they're all stuck together and shit, and he's pulling them out, trying to pull them out, and I'm like, oh, like I don't smoke weed anymore, which is true. I haven't smoked any herb in 2 months. So I'm telling the guy, I don't smoke. And he goes, don't tell me you don't smoke THC. Then give it to one of your friends then. Like, he will not let me refuse this oil. He's like, yeah, I cooked it up myself. 97% THC oil. I call it the grease lightning. And I'm like, that's actually fucking hilarious. That's hilarious. That's a good name. That's some witty shit. I'll give you that much, my guy. That's witty as hell. So it takes him like 2 fucking minutes to pull out 2 rollies where it's just smeared near the crease, right? Just smeared across the crease. And he pulls them out. Meanwhile, Dutch guy who came in already done his cut. That's how long he was in there. It was like a solid 10 to 15 minutes this guy's doing his jig, talking about his fucking weed oil and his goddamn cancer pain pill meds that he takes. And I've been slowly backing away from him the entire time, right? To the point where I'm about, I don't know, 8 feet away, and he just inches forward, gets a little bit closer. So he pulls out these 2 rollies, puts them on the table, and he's telling me another story about how he was going toke for toke with another bum out back some dumpster somewhere, and that motherfucker, boom, hits the floor out for a couple of minutes as well. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know if you think that this is the sales pitch, but we're not junkies here. We're regular ass guys. First of all, we don't want weed that's gonna knock us fucking unconscious. Second of all, I'm not taking anything from any junkie. I'm not smoking shit any junkie gives me. He's like, yep, it's a 3-toke high. 1 toke, you feeling good. 2 tokes, it starts to hit. And 3 tokes, the whole room starts spinning. The whole world starts spinning. You're not gonna know up from down. You're not gonna know where the fuck you are. I'm like, bro, that sounds terrible. Sounds fucking awful. So he pulls these rollies out. He puts them on the table. And at this point, I'm like, we gotta get this guy the fuck out of here, man, or he's not gonna stop talking. I don't think he realizes how long he's been here for, just talking in circles. So Dutch guy's just finishing up his cut, and I'm like, hey, bro, I gotta go take a shit, but I'll see you later, all right? He's like, yep, I just gotta hit the ATM. I'll take these pills, I'll have a nap, and I'll see you later on today. And I'm like, I doubt that, but I'll see you around. I'm not too worried about the money. It's like, yeah, I'll give you $50 because he's dropped it from 100 to 50 because I don't know why, but he thought when he was given 100 that we had to share it. And now that he hates Ben, he's giving me 50 in hopes that I just keep it all for myself, I guess. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. Kept that shit every time. I kept 100 every time. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta take a shit, bro, but I'll see you around. He's like, yep, hit the ATM. And then I just fucking go duck in the bathroom until I hear the door open and close. And then I come out, grab the rollies with a fucking paper towel, and I chuck them in the garbage because I don't even want to touch it. I don't know what kind of toxic shit is in there. And I'm on my way home for lunch. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking any chances with that. And then the Dutch guy, he comes up to me and he's like, is that like a normal thing around here? Unfortunately, it is. This guy's a regular. We see him probably on a weekly or bi-weekly basis for him to at least come and say what's up. And he's just like, yeah, it's kind of like, is it normal for all these like homeless people to be around here? And unfortunately, where I live, it's a downtown core that's brand new, just littered with bums. And I don't know what the fuck is going on with the city planning, but a few blocks up the road, there's this like junky trailer park area and like a soup kitchen. And then a few blocks the other way is like a Salvation Army with some housing and some other resources. All of the shit that they need is all in this area. And obviously they're not going to go down the street and walk around it because it's on the same fucking street. So yeah, they frequent this area. The other day, so we park, there's a business center across the street and a big parking lot right behind it. So we all park in that parking lot in the back, and then there's a little alleyway that you walk through to get to the other side. And the other day, I'm walking through, there's two junkies like aged out or on fentanyl or some shit, like semi-sitting and laying on the ground just like embracing each other. And it's pissing rain. There's puddles because the alleyway is like gravel. So there's puddles everywhere, and they're just laying there, right? They're laying there when I leave for my break, and I come back and they're still laying there. It's so fucking bad. And then a couple days after that, I'm walking through the alleyway as usual, and there's a big old human shit right in the alleyway. Somebody took a dump and just fucking right in the fucking middle of the alleyway. And it's very obviously human shit. It's massive. Like, no dog could make that shit. And this is like a St. Bernard or some shit. But I ain't seen no big ass dogs around downtown. So it's gotta be. And it's like covered up with like, I don't know, it looks like a fucking piece of cloth or a ripped up t-shirt or some shit. Just sitting there. Disgusting. Absolutely nasty. I try not to look at it every day, but I find my eyes just... They find it. The downtown area is bad, all right? I've lived in a few different towns, Toronto and Vancouver being one of them, but it ain't that bad in the downtowns, all right? It's always in one area, you know what I'm saying? There's always like a hood, so to speak, where the junkies congregate. It's usually right outside of downtown, but never just in the mix. And I never seen so many fucking homeless people congregating around a brand new development that for where we are is busy as fuck, right? There's so many people that go through this area every day. It's getting busier and busier as more shit goes up. And it's the craziest thing to see, like, you know, a nice, normal, you know, happy looking family walk by, and then a beautiful couple will walk by, and then an old guy will walk by to go to the diner down the street, and then a fucking junkie screaming at the sky right behind him. And it's wild out here. And too many people that live here make excuses like, oh, everywhere has got its problems, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, listen, bro, I've been to most of the major cities in the entire country, from here all the way to fucking Halifax, all right? And I have never seen a downtown this fucking bad. But everybody's like, they want to act like it's not that bad. Bro, it's fucking awful. It's terrible. But I digress. So it seems as though that the Chronicles of Crackhead Leslie live on. I can almost guarantee you that there will be a part 3. Because he still owes me money. And he said, I'm a man of my word. Because if you don't have your word, you ain't got nothing. And that's probably the truest shit this motherfucker has ever said. I will see him again. And when I do, I'm sure there will be a part 3 eventually. But until then, stay caffeinated, bitches. As always, friends, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Mr. Blackman Show. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at JBJordanMusic. And check me out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts under The Mr. Blackman Show. I'll have weekly episodes coming to you every Monday night. So stay tuned and peace.